Coming to you live from the White Picket Studios in Houston, Texas, this is the Realty Ruckus. If you are in any way, shape, or form involved in the real estate industry, this is the show for you. And now, your host, Alan Hernandez.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us today at the Realty Ruckus here in the White Picket Realty Studios. Again, don't forget that you can always post all of your questions, comments, concerns, or likes, or anything that you want to say to us.
Concerns,
yeah.
If you're concerned, you might have some things to be concerned about after today's show.
We want to have we're going to have a great show today. We have something planned out for you guys that we've never done before. So make sure that you guys stay tuned here for a little bit. But again, don't forget that you can post your comments on the YouTube link, on the YouTube video, and on Facebook Live, as well as tweet us. Did I get that right?
Yes, tweet
us. It feels so hard for me to say that. As well as tweet us at Realty Ruckus. So without further ado, I just want to say that it's been a tough week in the celebrity world. If you're a Hispanic, and I know we have a lot of Hispanic listeners, you know that we lost a huge star this week. His name is Juan Gabriel. And he's kind of like I would say he's kind of like the Elton John, of American celebrities. He big composer. Super huge composer.
Prolific songwriter.
Obviously, he had his own, music that he sung. And, if you are, Hispanic, you grew up listening to this guy, and your parents did, and probably even their parents. So he passed away, 66 years old, of a heart attack.
Yeah, he was really young.
Yeah,
I was very surprised to see that.
Very young. You know what scares me about that is that you can be, this guy is ultra mega rich.
Mega.
And you can be that rich and still just overnight just pass away from a heart attack. Money means nothing when it comes to potentially not making it.
Yeah, money means nothing if you're still snacking like a Mexican. Lord knows we all snack the best.
He was snacking like the best for sure, man. He put down some tacos. You could tell from the size. The other celebrity that passed away. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I grew up watching this movie. Actually, I just watched it not too long ago because if you have kids, you have to watch it. His name is Gene Wilder. Do you guys even know who Gene Wilder is?
Yes, we're familiar with him.
You guys know who Gene Wilder is?
Yeah,
he's Willy Wonka, man. Everybody grew up watching Willy Wonka. Unfortunately, the news didn't really take any I don't know. They didn't really pay any attention to his death for some reason. I thought Willy Wonka was a big deal. I watched.
It's all over the news.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
I pulled up my Facebook feed this morning, and the only thing I saw was everybody burning Colin Kaepernick's jerseys. And I'm like, man, what the heck's going on? I don't get a chance to watch too much TV. So I started kind of researching a little
Somebody's mad at this guy.
not somebody. Almost everybody on my feed this morning was like, oh, this guy's the worst person on earth. And I'm like, man, what did this guy do? I figured he'd committed some horrible crime or something, right? Well, it turns out during the last game, he decided to sit down during the national anthem, right? And so, here's the thing. And I read that he was doing it out of what was it?
Protest.
As a protest for black rights. And I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. First off, he's half white, half black, and he was raised by white parents who adopted him. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's
he was raised by white parents who adopted him. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I just kind of found that ironic that he was sitting there and protesting, especially during a game. And the way he protested, I thought it was kind of insulting. I thought it wasn't the right place and time for you to actually speak your mind about how unfair America is. But here's the thing. I don't know of a country that is perfect, and I don't know of a society that is. And I keep thinking there's a right place and a right time for stuff like that. Like you don't disrespect the flag just because you don't agree with society. You don't sit there and step all over what all the freedoms that we have fought for and all the people that are out there fighting for us just because you don't think for whatever reason that society is being fair. It's not fair, period. Life is not fair. And I don't know. I thought that was very distasteful. It was very disrespectful. I feel bad for the guy because I know he's going to get a lot of crap for it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. He may have some things in his heart that he doesn't feel right about as far as American society goes. And I don't disagree that wasn't the right way to go about it. However, I will continue to defend his right to protest in whatever way he wishes. That's free speech. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. But if it comes down to the end of the day, it is America, and we do have that freedom, thankfully.
We do have that freedom.
True.
I get that. True. That's the other side of the coin. But would you have that freedom if you didn't have soldiers going out there and fighting for that freedom? And when we're sitting there, singing, we're respecting them. We're saying, hey, thank you. We're saying, hey, and I don't know. In my opinion, you shouldn't be an asshole and sit there and pout.
Censor.
Gotta drop that.
Good thing this is your own podcast.
Great. I can say that on the internet.
All right.
Anyway, when we get back, we want to talk about what assistants can no longer do. I know we always talk about what assistants should be doing, and I'll share some of what my assistant does for me and how he makes my life super, super easy. But what can assistants in real estate no longer do? What you can get in trouble if you have them do? We'll talk about that when we get back, as well as the Real Estate Doomsday. We have some issues to talk about.
America.
Hey realtors, I have a challenge for you. Walk into your broker's office and ask him to show you how to do a net listing, a wholesale investment transaction, or a subject to. I'm Alan Hernandez, broker of White Picket Realty, and my team and I have been doing these type of transactions for years. We can show you how to do the same and turn small deals into big checks. If you're interested in learning more, please contact join@teamwpr.com. join@teamwpr.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching @Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one. Hey Houston investors, do you have a couple deals under your belt, but now you're looking to scale in a more structured way? If so, then the House Flipping Network provides guidance to those looking to grow their real estate business. It's also a great way to mastermind with our experts and groups of like-minded investors just like yourself. If you're interested in more information, reach out to me, david@houseflippingnetwork.com. That's david@houseflippingnetwork.com. Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
And we are back on the Realty Ruckus. David, what's the weather going to be like out there this week?
Well, today we got a high of 92 and a low of 77, with just a chance here and there of a stray shower. For the rest of the week, you can expect highs in the mid-90s and lows in the high 70s, with the rain tapering out to the end of the week. And man, this weekend I get to catch 2 football games. I'm excited about that.
Do you?
Hell
You're going
yeah.
to the Alabama game.
Going to the Alabama game, and I'm going to go watch Texans and Cowboys.
You're going to both games?
Yeah.
Live.
Live.
Man, I'm so jelly right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty jelly.
I'm going to be at a wedding. I don't want to say I'm going to be bored. I'm actually going to be hanging out with a lot of my college fraternity friends, and I am super excited to be there. But don't get me wrong, I would love to go watch any of those 2 football games.
It's gonna be fun.
That would be amazing. That would be an amazing experience. Actually, last year, today, we were watching the Seminoles play OSU. I just got my my TBT
I saw that on your Facebook.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
If you look at my Facebook picture that I reposted, I cannot believe how little my kids were. They're so big now compared to that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But we enjoyed that game like crazy, so I can't wait to get out to a couple games this season. We want to talk a little bit about what assistants can no longer do. And actually, the reason why I want to bring this up is because I recently had a contract come in right? And we got the contract accepted, and everything went right. But I recently had this contract come in, and when I asked the agent, hey, have you seen this house? Because, she kept asking kind of, weird questions that I didn't understand where they were coming from.
Yeah.
She goes, no, I actually never seen it. My assistant went out and showed it. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds great. My assistant does the same thing for me, and sometimes I don't get a chance to see the houses. But then, come to find out, that is no longer allowed per TREC. That's actually one of the things that you can no longer do, and it's not necessarily just something that's just happened recently. It's been around for a little bit, but people have been slow to get to know that rule. And so what TREC is requiring now is that your assistant, if they're going to open doors, and I get it, they're just opening a door. Some people are like, well, come on, man. They're just, they're only using the key and open it up. They're not negotiating. They're not talking about the house. They're not presenting it. They're not selling it. I get it. But the rule now is if your assistant is going to open the door, you have to have your assistant licensed.
Yeah.
All right? So the tricky part is talking your assistant into getting a license. And if you look at my assistant right now, he's shaking his head. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't want to take more classes. That's
well, when we first saw the news release, the memo on it, I immediately thought Brandon has something to do with this.
I did too. Actually, when I handed him the report, I was like, you've been submitting complaints, haven't you? He was like, yes, I have.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. When we talk about assistants, and I talk about assistants all the time, and the reason why
they're important.
The reason why I talk about that is because they're so important in this business. I am not quite certain that I could do what I do, even like, for example, being on this radio show right now. I'm not quite certain that I could do it if I didn't have a person like Brandon helping me with tasks that I sometimes just cannot get to. So what are some of those tasks that I sometimes cannot get to? And frankly, some of those tasks are things that I don't like to do. I'm just not good at those tasks. So for one thing, for me, paperwork. Paperwork is my killer, my Achilles heel. I can't stand it. Yeah. For me to fill something out and make sure that it's all right and get the right name and address, and then drop them into DocuSign and put the signatures and all the steps that it takes to get one contract in place. I mean, I cringe at the idea. But, it's awesome that, for example, last night we got an offer that came in, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to sit there and mess with it that late. But this morning, as soon as we come in, I have Brandon send it directly to the seller. I say, hey, get this thing executed. He sends it through DocuSign. And before the show started, not even an hour later, after he sent it, we already got it back. The offer's accepted. We're ready to go. And I never even touched that contract or messed with any of it. So to me, that kind of stuff is priceless. And one of the main reasons why you should have an assistant helping you at all times. What other kind of things can your assistant do? And so that's where it kind of, we want to make sure that you understand that it's not just about, if you're in real estate, it's not just about opening the doors or hosting your open houses, or if you're a realtor, if you're a realtor. If you're an investor, it's not about.
So that's my question though. Since the assistants have to be licensed now to go open doors, can you have an unlicensed person host an open house now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I actually looked that up.
Yeah.
I actually looked that up because that's also one of the things that I'm not really a fan of doing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's easier to pay my assistant to go out there on a weekend and do an open house for a few hours.
And for a long time, there's been people that have, little small businesses where that's what they do is host open houses for realtors, but they're not licensed.
That's right.
And that's why I was asking, can you still have an unlicensed person do the open house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so your unlicensed person can still host an open house.
Got it.
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know where TREC made that, set that up to where it made sense to them. Because you're right. If the assistant can't just go open doors, why can they go host an open house?
Yeah, they can't open a door to let in one family, but they can go open a door to let in multiple families.
I know. And here's the thing, with TREC, not all of their rules and regulations make sense.
Yeah.
it's kind of like with tax law. There's gray areas, and you just have to hope for the best sometimes and hope you don't get in trouble, you know?
Yeah.
But with open houses, I looked it up. Yeah, your assistant can host an open house during the weekends. And as long as they're not negotiating, presenting, trying to sell, quote unquote, the house. I mean, they're literally there to let people in, collect contact information, and that's it. You know, hey, how are you? Thank you very much. Here's the info, some kind of pamphlet or sheet or something. That's it. You know, you can't really go past that. And you know, probably no one would ever say anything, but you never want to run into the wrong person. Maybe some realtor down the road that lives there and says, hey, you're not licensed. Why are you, talking to me about this house? And then you get a TREC complaint, and all of a sudden now you have some issues to deal with.
And all it takes is one.
All it takes is one person to complain on you. So besides that, the other things that we like to make sure that, our assistants do is help us with coordinating the transaction. What that means is what all does it take to make a transaction go through smoothly? And the way that we did it is we said, well, these are the steps. These are the 15 or 20, and actually I think we're up to like 27 steps that it takes to coordinate either a listing or a transaction. And then what of those steps can your assistant do for you to automate the system? So that's one thing that I think everyone should be practicing. And we're actually going to talk about hiring a VA here upcoming in one of our events.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the show, we're going to give you guys more information on that. So we're going to be teaching you guys how to do that. And when we get back, we want to talk about some real estate doomsday red flags that we are seeing. We want to make sure that you guys understand what's happening out in the market. We'll be right back.
Hey realtors, I have a challenge for you. Walk into your broker's office and ask him to show you how to do a net listing, a wholesale investment transaction, or a subject to. I'm Alan Hernandez, broker of White Picket Realty, and my team and I have been doing these type of transactions for years. We can show you how to do the same and turn small deals into big checks. If you're interested in learning more, please contact join at teamwpr.com. JOIN at teamwpr.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one. Hey Houston investors, do you have a couple deals under your belt, but now you're looking to scale in a more structured way? If so, then the House Flipping Network provides guidance to those looking to grow their real estate business. It's also a great way to mastermind with our experts and groups of like-minded investors just like yourself. If you're interested in more information, reach out to me, david@houseflippingnetwork.com. That's david@houseflippingnetwork.com. Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
And we are back on the Realty Ruckus, and we were discussing things that assistants can and cannot do for you to make sure that you're up to date with the most recent regulations from TREC. And we want to go ahead and jump on to the next topic here.
Yeah, let's move on. I think I talked enough about what Brandon hates doing, what he likes doing for me, which is very little. He likes to complain a lot, actually. So, hey, look at him giving me the thumbs up. So, one of the things that we started doing recently is just checking statistics to see what's happening in the market. And a lot of these statistics are somewhat scary. And some of them we wanted to share with you guys because I think it's important for everyone to be in the know on what's happening right now with real estate. And so the first thing we found is a pretty scary statistic on cash transactions. And Bibi, I don't know if you noticed this, but do you remember about a year or two ago, we'd list a property and Almost all of our properties would get, a few offers within a few days, and one of them would almost always be cash.
It would be a strong offer too.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be just like a lowball cash offer. We usually would make the mistake of taking a really high offer, and then the very next day we get a cash offer at full price.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many times did that happen to us?
Oh, it happened on almost every transaction.
So I actually started noticing recently that I hadn't seen that happen too often. And then David, you found an actual article that talks about that.
Yeah, in Houston, cash sales are actually down 5% year over year. So I would say that's a pretty healthy decline. 5% doesn't seem like much, but when you look at it, it is. And cash sales usually make up about a third of all home sales, and that's the national average.
Yeah. So it kind of makes sense why we're not seeing that with all of our listings anymore. I mean, I'm not saying it hasn't happened here in the last few months. I'm saying I don't see it as often, right? So cash transactions are now happening less. I wonder if that has anything to do with some of the other things that we're finding. For example, we notice that residential construction is down. Now, we know this for a fact because we were getting into residential construction about 2 years ago, and we started seeing oversaturation in the markets.
A lot of oversaturation.
Right? We ended up getting into a new construction property, which we're now finishing up. We got into that about a year ago. We're now finishing that up. And what happened with that market? Originally, that market was worth 1.2 million. Yeah. Now we're like 900, maybe 950 if we're lucky. That's a huge difference, right? Same thing happened in areas like the Heights, where everyone was buying lots, splitting them into 4 little lots or whatever, or 2 little lots, and then putting these three-story townhomes. And there was so many of them popping up left and right that the supply started increasing while the demand wasn't really keeping up. So what happened was, people started slowing down. Actually, it ended up happening from the bank side. I don't know if you remember this, but just a few months ago, we tried to go out and get financing for a new construction home in Bel Air, and the bank literally told us, we're not lending on new construction homes right now. There is way too much risk at the moment.
Yeah, they weren't doing it unless it was for the actual home owner.
Yeah.
So they'll do it for a home owner who intends to live there as their homestead, but as an investment, most banks they've cut that off on new construction.
And I thought it was just us. I was like, oh, okay, I guess you guys don't like us or whatever, But I sent that same deal out to several other investors, and they had the same experience going through their local banks, their contacts, and so that shows you that residential new construction has definitely slowed down. Then we have something else. Then we have apartments, which are, completely different, the opposite spectrum. We have the most apartments being built here in Houston, right? And
that's on a national level.
Anywhere else in the United States.
Yeah, I think there's about let me see. I think but there's about 320,000 new units coming on to the U.S. scene here for this year, and Texas claims about 70,000 out of those 320. And so then you split that up amongst the 3 biggest cities, and Houston alone's got about 26,000 of those units.
Imagine that. So we were just talking to an investor yesterday who came into our office and said, "Hey, I want you guys to help me buy an apartment complex." And they actually wanted to jump into a semi decent unit, something that's class A, maybe a class B, that's performing already. And the first thing we said was, well, wait a minute, is it the right time to jump into an apartment building right now? Is it the right time to actually go out and buy these? Why? Well, because of what you just said, there's so many of them being built. There's so many units under construction that these companies have already committed to that will go on the market here in the next year or two, right? And what's going to happen to those? Those are all Class A.
Yeah, the rents are going to start dropping once all those units come onto the market.
There's no other choice.
Yeah, and what they're saying is that there's an increase of over 50% in apartment construction, And so what that's going to signal is that the rental rates have been on a rise. They've been heating up,
exploding.
They're up 3.4% already on the year, which is a big increase. But they're saying as soon as same thing Euro guys are saying, as soon as these other ones hit the market, goodbye. That explosion's gone.
Well, think about it. All of these thousands and thousands of units go up. They have no choice. In order to create not just income, but to create value, you have to have a performing asset in commercial, right? So what do they have to do in order to go out there and get those units filled? They have to make it an irresistible price.
Yeah, they're going to have to lower the prices. And you know what's crazy? I live in Greenway Plaza, and there's a lot of luxury apartments around me. And more you're seeing these banners and these signs that say, like, you know, and not necessarily $99 move-in.
I think I've seen some around
but
there.
But you see the
first 2 months free.
First 2 months free, things like that. Yeah.
I mean, this is
never used to see that.
Greenway Plaza, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a pretty decent part of town.
You're talking about Class A apartments where a one bedroom rents for $1,350, $1,400.
Yeah.
And you've got signs and banners going up that you normally would only see in a Class C.
That's right.
The $99 move-in or first month free. And you see those banners.
Yep.
And as soon as I saw those, I was thinking, wow, these apartments are hurting.
And
you've got another 1,000 units being built right next door.
Yeah. And they're going to have to do something to fill those units.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Whether that's giving the rent away for free for the first couple months or literally reducing it down to where it becomes competitive with the Class B, C.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that the way that they do that is they say, okay, your first 2 months are free. So let's say that the rent is $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
So they say, okay, your first 2 months are free, but you still need to make a payment. All we're going to do is take $4,000 off of your total lease and reduce your monthly payment by that amount.
Yeah. That's
So really, it comes out to like $1,500-$1,600 a month. So you're still paying the full rental rate.
Got it.
But it's a reduced rate.
Got it.
It's
they just spread the discount.
Yeah, it's a fancy way of lowering the price but still being able to say it's a $2,000 per month lease.
Okay.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
I got it.
All they're doing is playing with the numbers.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because a smart consumer understands if they can get a Class B apartment for $1,500 or a Class A, they're going to go with the Class A.
Oh, absolutely.
And Class B then has no choice but to do what? They have to reduce.
Yeah.
And so does Class C, and so on, and so on. And so I might be crazy here, all right? And you know, I'm no analyst. I've been in real estate for a little while.
You're just an Allenist.
I'm just an Allenist. I don't know this for sure. So, you know, if you guys are out there watching this show, you know, don't go out and make investing decisions on this idea that I'm getting ready to present to you. But I am thinking, based on what I'm seeing right now, the fact that apartments are so high, the fact that we're seeing less cash sales. Oh, not to mention the median price of a residential home actually took a dive this quarter.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
It went down,
surprising.
which it hasn't happened in years.
Yeah, it's fell by 1.7% to $217,400.
Yes, exactly.
And I know that doesn't seem like a big deal, but you have to compound it with the fact that it was increasing by 2 or 3% every quarter.
Every quarter.
So rather than increasing, we're down 1%. So really, you're talking about a 4% swing in the opposite direction. That's a big deal.
About 5 because it was down 1.7%.
Yeah.
And so what all of that means to me, and again, you know, call me crazy if you want, is that we're going to see a market shift here. Specifically, obviously, we're already somewhat seeing it in residential, but I think there's going to be a really good, very good opportunity, a great market shift in commercial, especially when it comes to apartments, especially when it comes to renting. So all of those people out there that are buying properties to rent, everyone needs to be really careful with what's going to happen once all of these Class A apartments go up on the market and they start competing for the tenants, right?
I think they'll still be able to get them filled. It's just not at the price they might expect. Because, I mean, a couple shows ago, we talked about, what was it, like 6.8% of Houston renters are qualified to move into a home. So those people aren't going anywhere.
There's still going to be a ton of tenants. What I'm saying is the Class A will get filled, but they're going to have to reduce the amount, and that's going to affect some of the other apartments.
Well, and one thing that you also have to think about is what is the effect going to be on single-family rentals.
Yes.
So people who own single-family rentals that are Right now, you're getting some ridiculous rental rates. I mean, Sharpstown is renting for $18.50 a month. I remember
right now.
Yeah, I remember a time when if you got $12.50 in Sharpstown, that was great. And that
Yes.
was only 2 or 3 years ago.
That was not very long ago.
So $18.50 a month. But what happens when you can get a really awesome 3-2 Class A with all the luxuries?
In a nice building with a doorman, with a gym.
With a gym. And a lot of these brand new construction apartments now are mixed use. So they have commercial, they have shopping inside. So there's shopping like restaurants, there's actual retail stores in them. They're turning them into like a full-on living complex. You can do everything without ever leaving this apartment. They've got dog parks. The one next to me is super luxury. It's got a basketball court on the roof. I mean,
Nice.
you never have to leave the place if you don't want
Imagine
to.
if you could rent that for about the same price or even a little bit less than a single-family home here nearby.
Yeah.
You know?
And the inventory on single-family rentals is really low.
Yeah.
When you pull up all of Houston, you just do it. Run a search, pull up all of Houston, and it's going to blow your mind how few rentals are really out there.
Well, and you know, and evidence of that is that when we list a property for lease, we hardly ever have it for more than 30 days.
Oh,
if we're putting it at the right price.
yeah, it's got to be really bad, like almost not livable to not lease quickly.
Yeah.
Or you just have, you're too strict on your tenants.
Yeah.
And that's the other one. But I mean, if you're being reasonable, 30 days is a long time right now.
So would you agree that in the next couple of years, there's going to be an opportunity to potentially get into apartment buying at the right price finally?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
I think that, and I think Tom Berry would agree that right now is the perfect time to sell. And I know that he sold off a ton of his units, and he's just waiting until that next dip to be able to buy them.
Here's
when
what's
things
crazy.
are low again.
Your normal average consumer thinks the opposite. And that's what I love. You know, like when everybody else is thinking it's time to buy, you should be thinking the opposite. And so, and think about it. Our client that came in yesterday, and I'm not going to say their name because I know they're probably watching, but their idea was that this was a perfect time to come in and buy a 200-unit apartment, right? That's what they really wanted to do. They thought it was the perfect time to go in and buy.
They did, yeah.
And until we told them what we knew, and based on our research showed them how much better of an opportunity it would be if they waited just a little bit, you could tell that their mind was blown, because they hadn't looked into all of these other things that are happening or what's going to happen when all of these brand new apartment complexes come into play.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for all of you guys to know that, especially if you're in the real estate business of investing. If you're an agent, hey, knowing some of this stuff can help. It can save your client.
Yeah.
If you have somebody walk in that wants to do this, you should know that they're going to be in trouble if they get in now, but you can make them millions if you just have them wait just a little while longer.
Yeah, wait for the value play. Don't try to find a value play now.
Yeah.
Now's not the time for value play.
Now is not the time to do it. It's going to come, and it's going to be great. And if you're prepared, you stand to make a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah. Anyway, when we get back, we're going to continue our real estate predictions. We're also going to have a prediction on celebrity deaths. They come in three. And we've had two.
We've had two.
So we're going to throw out some predictions. If you guys think if you guys can predict who the third one might be.
You want to join in on our sick game.
We're going to put in some odds. All right, we're going to have some fun. Make sure you guys post your comments, questions, concerns, all of that below. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back.
Hey realtors, I have a challenge for you. Walk into your broker's office and ask him to show you how to do a net listing, a wholesale investment transaction, or a subject to. I'm Alan Hernandez, broker of White Picket Realty, and my team and I have been doing these type of transactions for years. We can show you how to do the same and turn small deals into big checks. If you're interested in learning more, please contact join@teamwpr.com. join@teamwpr.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching @Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one. Hey Houston investors, do you have a couple deals under your belt, but now you're looking to scale in a more structured way? If so, then the House Flipping Network provides guidance to those looking to grow their real estate business. It's also a great way to mastermind with our experts and groups of like-minded investors just like yourself. If you're interested in more information, reach out to me, David at houseflippingnetwork.com. That's David at houseflippingnetwork.com. Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service and an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
And we are back on the Ruckus. So good to be with everyone today. We're having a great show, having a good time here. And we want to jump into and talk about marketing strategies, I believe.
Yeah, I think we've talked enough about doomsday predictions and how the market's going to crash and how everyone's going to, lose a ton of money and make a ton of money. But we want to move on and talk about what things you should be getting into. And this applies to all aspects of real estate. This applies to real estate investors, loan officers, agents. I mean, you name it. Even if you're an assistant, you should be doing this for your boss. All right?
Yes.
Yes, Brandon. So, a couple of the things that I think people are missing nowadays are the advances in technology. And I say this because I run into some of the older agents in the industry who
not necessarily older. It's just people that have been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So you still have some young 30s people, but they've been doing this since they were 18 or 19, yep. And they kind of just want to keep doing things the way they've always done it.
You know what? It happens to me. I mean, look at how. I mean, come on. When I was in college, I used to run an entire technology center.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now Brandon is doing this thing. Yeah, I actually did. I ran the technology center.
Technology center.
Technology was different when I was in college, okay?
You ran the fax and typewriters.
But
how many ribbons did you change out in your time?
It was one of those really giant computers in one room. No, technology has changed so much, even just in the last few years, that even someone like myself, I want to say I'm relatively young considering what most agents are right now, and we have a group of agents who are much older, and then we have a group of agents in the industry who are much younger, who are generally going to be in like their low 30s. All right, so I would say I fall into that younger category, but even so, I have a hard time with technology, and I have a hard time figuring out what social media channels there are and why they're important and how to use them. I mean, until like 2 days ago, I was still saying twatter or whatever it's called. You guys just barely.
Hope you don't use that mouth around your mother.
You guys just barely taught me how to actually even say it or what to do with it. So for now,
I think you just came out with a new dating.
Is that a new? Is that like the new Tinder? Twatter. So, all right, let's talk about some of the things that are working, and these are things that are actually working in my business, the business of my agents, things that I actually want people around me to continuously do. And one of the things that I think everyone or most of the older agents are missing right now is capitalizing on text message marketing.
Yeah.
I know that it sounds weird to some people. In fact, when I started looking into it, it sounded weird to me. And I say that because, I feel like a text message is somewhat private. Like if I get a text message, I hope that I know you.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but it depends on how you get that text message.
Yes.
Because it's really annoying when you get the text message. It's like, hey, everybody, my name is blah, 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 and I want to help you. Text reply to 45793 to get more information.
That's probably the worst thing anyone could ever do.
Oh man, it's so spammy.
The minute that I get that, I actually block that number, and
Me
we're
too.
done.
Yeah.
We're done. You know. So I think it's important for you to know how to properly do it. Don't go out there and be the cheesy car salesman and try to get business that way. That's not the way to do it. If anything, it's always about creating value. But there's a couple things about text messages that are important. One, it's very, very personal. So you have to take that into consideration. It's very intimate. I mean, if you're sending someone a text message, you might want to have some rapport established.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing is it's immediate. And you don't have to wait for them to open up their email. I mean, you know that they're going to get it. So if you deliver the message correctly, they're going to see it. They may not reply, but they're going to see it.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing is it's very inexpensive. I mean, if text messaging should be free, we pay for a text messaging software, and it costs us probably 4 cents a text message. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it does add up because, you know, Brandon sends probably a couple hundred a day for me. But think about how awesome that is.
Well, and there's apps you can use that if you don't want to do it on that big of a scale to where you're sending out hundreds a day and you're only sending out, say, maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 messages, or you just want to put together one big group message, there's an app called Mighty Text that I've been using. It's compatible with Apple products and with Android, which is nice. But it lets you actually put together the text message on your computer and then send them out directly from your computer. So you don't ever have to type anything in your phone.
Does it show that it comes from your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It actually sends it to your phone, and then your phone sends it out. But what's cool is that you can create group messages, but not necessarily make it a group.
Yeah, they don't see it that they're in a group. They just see it as they have received a text individually.
Exactly. They
This
see
is
it as
called what again?
Mighty Text. I can't believe you're not using
I
it.
actually have not heard of Mighty Text. Brandon, can you
Yeah.
look that up for me? Maybe do some
He
research?
already signed up. He knows about it.
He already has an account.
He
All
already
right.
He
signed
hasn't
up.
told you
Very
about
good.
it.
Thank you very much, Brandon. That guy is ahead of his game. Look at that. So Mighty Text is probably one of the better ways to do it. We use a different software. I use a software called Brandon, and and he sends all of my text messages out. And the way that we
Nice.
do it is through, we have a company phone number that he uses that allows him to text on my behalf. Of course, he introduces himself first for everyone that he's speaking to, and then sends out whatever message I need to get out. Now, every once in a while, we have a task where I may either have to call or drop a voicemail, and we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. But the other thing that has been working for me, and I hope that you guys are listening to this and write this down. The other thing that has been working for me are video text messages. Have you guys ever heard of that?
No,
Yeah.
that one I haven't.
Okay.
Well, video
so-
in general.
So video in general is huge right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's huge. If you pay, there's paid services like BombBomb.com where they'll charge you upwards of $100 a month just to be able to send a video email to someone. And it's still not truly a video email. It's still a link that sends you to a web page. Isn't that the way that works?
Yeah, it's got like a GIF, so it appears to be a video, and then you click it, and it sends you to a web page where the actual video is hosted.
Yeah,
Now-
and a video and this is just some conversion rates. A video and an email actually leads to about a 200 to 300% increase in your click-through rate.
Wow,
Imagine.
that's amazing.
Imagine. So it's probably worth $100 a month to be able to send those.
Yeah, and that's just an email. I mean, if you include it on your landing page, which is a great way to market as well, that also increases conversion by 80%. So the video conversion rates are huge, and it's much more effective than just having a wall of text.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll tell you guys the way I do it. I kind of stumbled into this because I'm really big on people that are driving around and texting, and I catch myself doing it sometimes, and then I get angry at myself for doing it because I know how dangerous it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I see people doing it, I'm that jerk that's like, hey, honking the horn and stop doing that.
And it's more like, if I'm not doing it, then you shouldn't be doing
Yes.
it either.
So one of the tasks that we have in our follow-up system is for me to either text or send them a quick little message. Now,
Yeah.
because I couldn't text, I decided, well, how about I just record a quick little 30-second video and send it out. and you would be surprised how much better my conversion rate has been just through that. And all of your phones can do it. If you have a smartphone, instead of sending the text, you click the video option, you record the video on the spot. I do it while I'm driving. Hey, what's going on?
We do not condone that behavior.
Yeah, that sounds very safe.
Well, I mean, obviously I'm not looking at the camera. I'm just looking ahead. And I'm just like, hey, you know, what's going on? I just wanted to follow up. Just wanted to see where you're at, this and that and the other, blah, blah, blah. Call me back if you have any questions. Send. It's a quick 30-second little snippet, but guess what? It's like texting on steroids, because it's like next level. Instead of just getting that quick little message, you get to see the face of the person that's speaking to you, and it becomes even more personal.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, things like that you can really use to impress a client.
You know which one I really like that we've used a lot lately is the voicemail drop.
Mm-hmm.
That one to me is so powerful.
Yeah.
And it's so effective. I really like that one. And for anyone who doesn't know how that works, it bypasses the phone call part of you actually calling someone and puts your message directly into their voicemail box.
Mm-hmm. And there's different apps that can do it. One of them is CallFire. And what it does is you can record a voicemail. Let's say you want to send the same message to hundreds of people or even thousands of people at one time. Imagine what you could do if you could reach, 100 to 1,000 people at one time and deliver an actual personalized message. So the idea is you record the message, you click send, and it literally drops that message into their voicemail system. Now, my theory on that is that voicemail is kind of dying out, and I don't know what you guys think about that. Do you guys listen to your voicemails?
Not really. I'm all on board the video
Yeah.
train. I think that should be the biggest focus as far as it comes to marketing.
I agree. We do it, and I don't think the conversion rate is as great as what it is with video.
Yeah.
But I still think that people do listen to it, and we get a lot of replies when we do send out those voicemail drops.
I think it all depends on what demographic you're going to.
I completely
because
agree.
people who grew up with voicemail probably enjoy their voicemail.
Yes.
And people who are growing up with text messaging, they like their text messaging, and obviously the younger generation likes videos.
If you're like me, I haven't checked voicemail in years. I just don't like it. You know what I mean?
Well, there you go, guys. Don't leave Alan voicemail.
Do not leave me a voicemail because I'm not
not
going to check
listening
it.
to them.
That's why I have an answering service. Anyway, when we get back, we'll continue our conversation. Thanks again for joining us. Don't forget to drop your comments below. We'll be right back.
Hey realtors, I have a challenge for you. Walk into your broker's office and ask him to show you how to do a net listing, a wholesale investment transaction, or a subject to. I'm Alan Hernandez, broker of White Picket Realty, and my team and I have been doing these type of transactions for years. We can show you how to do the same and turn small deals into big checks. If you're interested in learning more, please contact join@teamwpr.com. join@teamwpr.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching @Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one. Hey Houston investors, do you have a couple deals under your belt, but now you're looking to scale in a more structured way? If so, then the House Flipping Network provides guidance to those looking to grow their real estate business. It's also a great way to mastermind with our experts and groups of like-minded investors just like yourself. If you're interested in more information, reach out to me, david@houseflippingnetwork.com. That's david@houseflippingnetwork.com. Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
And we are back on the Realty Ruckus. We've had a really good show today. We're coming up on our last segments here, but we've discussed what you can and can't do with your assistants.
Yep.
Colin Kaepernick.
We've gone through a lot of information.
Yeah,
we got some great comments actually.
Really
too.
good marketing. What kind of comments we got over there?
Well, George Montes, he says, I've used slide broadcast and get calls back because they think that they've actually missed a call.
Nice.
So it's an unexpected but positive result. And Rudy Zarate mentioned that he uses Mighty Text.
Okay.
So that's another
All right.
good
So there
one to
are
keep an eye
people
on.
out there using this software. That's very good.
Man, so I'm not the only one who
Right.
knows about my
Tyrone McDaniel mentions the voicemail technology, but wasn't call fire. He said something out. He mentioned that he got
He got a sales call.
call on that technology. That's awesome. So I mean, I'm happy to see that other people are using this kind of stuff
And that it's working for
and that
them.
it's working.
Yeah, actually, during the break, we were discussing how powerful videos are. The fact that the number one search engine in the world, everyone knows Google.
Google, yeah.
But nobody realizes that the number two search engine in the world is YouTube.
Yeah.
And think about all the times that you've gone out to buy a product, and the first thing you do is watch a video.
Go watch the
Yeah.
review videos,
The
products.
unboxing video.
Exactly.
What kind of quality is it? What can I expect? How often have you done it? I do that all the time when I make an online purchase.
And YouTube's actually reporting that mobile video consumption rises 100% every year.
Wow.
So if you're not jumping on the video game, you're missing out. And if you're also not optimizing that video for mobile, then you're missing out on an even bigger segment, because that's basically going to be where most consumers watch their videos.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting ready to blow y'all's mind. I know you guys probably know this, that I do this with my listings, but maybe our listeners don't. If you ever drive by one of our listings, you'll see a little sign either at the top or the bottom that says text such and such to such and such. Right? It's usually like text WPR 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
To some number, yeah.
You can, if you guys want to try it, you can text WPR 1 to, or WPR 5. Which one is that one? That's Bryce Heather. Text WPR 5, just like that, to the number 24587.
And that's 5 as in
Can you-
WPR.
so-
the
yeah,
number
those are
five.
instructions on there so they
Okay.
can know. If you guys text WPR 5
Okay.
to the numbers 24587, you're going to get an
24587.
immediate text message right back. And what you're going to get is a 3D virtual walkthrough of the home.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when we have potential buyers drive through our listings and they get a chance to walk the house without ever even having to look inside or call or anything, all of a sudden we have their attention. And when they call us, they are so anxious to go inside of that house. They've already gotten a small taste for it.
And for anyone who's thinking that this is one of the video walkthroughs, this is entirely different.
Yeah.
And
This is going to blow your mind.
You control the walkthrough.
This is going to blow your mind when you guys get a chance to actually go in and do this.
Curtis Worden.
Curtis!
Yes.
Oh, yes, he's back.
Finally.
Realty Ruckus is complete now.
When you guys get a chance to do this, if you guys are watching, you're going to get a chance to see what taking technology to the next level can do, and how we can really not only impress our clients, but the people that are out there looking for their next house.
Yeah.
And then take that information and convert them.
Yeah, and actually, I looked on the Matterport website, which the Matterport is that 3D walkthrough.
Yeah.
And right now, they're working on the integration with all Oculus-based products.
Nice.
Which means you're going to be able to take the
Any product that's Oculus-based, which is almost every single VR headset.
Yeah.
They're trying to integrate it to where you can just put that on and then do an actual walkthrough of a house with the headset.
So I don't know if you guys remember this, but we talked about virtual reality a few shows.
And we saw
back.
it coming, yeah.
We talked about it like in show 1 or 2. It was like one of our first shows that we talked about.
Yeah.
And I remember making the prediction that soon enough we were going to throw on a virtual reality set and be able to walk houses.
Yep.
And I think not very far from now, you have an older person and maybe can't go out and walk 20 or 30 houses. That's how they're going to buy a house.
Yeah.
That's how they're going to do it.
Or if you got a buyer and they want to see 6, 7, 8 houses in one day,
You bring them into your office, you
Get
stick a
'em-
headset on them.
Yes.
and tell me which ones do you really want to go see.
Seriously, how much time would that save realtors?
It's amazing.
If you think about it, if you're a buyer's agent, if all you do is work with buyers, you waste the most time going out there and showing people houses.
Yeah, just
That
driving
is
from house to
the
house.
worst waste of time you can do.
Oh, absolutely. I think in Gary Keller's book, he talks about why listings are so important, and that when you're a buyer's agent, you're spending like 400% more time to make the same commission.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's literally a waste of time.
Man, don't get me started on buyer's agents. I have a problem with the buyer's agents that don't understand that because they don't value their time. But the second part of that is that I run across so many of them through our listings that forget that they're there to sell and close a transaction, not get in the way of the transaction.
Yeah, I agree.
They want to go in there as experts, consultants, and find reasons not to close a deal. And so many transactions don't close because they think they're doing their job, but instead they're getting in their own way of making things happen.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes with the fact that they think, okay, well, I have a fiduciary relationship to my client,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean necessarily you go start digging for stuff you don't really know about.
No, and that's what happens.
Yeah,
That's what happens. Oh, there's a tiny little crack on the wall. Oh, it's got the worst foundation problem ever. Don't buy it. And you're like, man, seriously?
Yeah. Where does your foundation?
Yeah, where did you get a degree or something? Are you an engineer all of a sudden? So I hopefully none of you guys watching are that listing agent, or I'm sorry, that buyer's agent. Because if you are, I can tell you're not closing a lot of transactions. You're probably still peddling around your 5 or 6 transactions a year, and that's the reason why you get in your own way. And if you need help with that, hey, feel free to reach out to us because we can certainly point you in the direction of doubling or tripling those numbers. We want to talk a little bit about the celebrity deaths that are happening.
We all know they come in threes.
And I don't want to be morbid about this, but we've agreed that they come in threes.
Everybody knows that. That's a
Everybody
well-known
knows
fact.
that. That's well-known fact.
Even indigenous cultures in
It's
New Zealand know that.
documented in all sorts of books and websites. Google agrees with us, I'm sure, even though we haven't looked it up.
No.
And so we're gonna throw out a celebrity prediction, a celebrity death prediction.
Who's gonna be the
who's
third?
going to be the third celebrity that's gonna?
So right now you've got Gene Wilder.
You got Gene Wilder.
And Juan Gabriel.
Juan Gabriel.
Now, some people will argue that they were different. They were different countries, different.
Well, it's just representation. You've got your Caucasians represented.
Yes.
Now the Latinos are represented.
Yeah. So we got good representation there.
Yeah. It's a good diverse mix.
But now we have to figure out who the third one will be.
Uh-oh.
All right. So and then we'll throw out some odds on it and see who wins in the next few weeks. How much time are we giving?
I truly hope that we're all wrong.
Next
on
few
that.
months?
No, it's a week. You got to
It's
give it
a
a
week?
week.
Okay.
They got to come back to back to back.
All right. Well, who are you going with?
My prediction?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go with Johnny Manziel.
Manziel?
I'm going to go with Johnny Manziel.
That's actually a good one.
Johnny Manziel with
his
the
own,
overdose.
His own dad said he's probably going to die of an overdose.
He did say that, and he is down a really bad spiral.
It's horrible, man. It's
Oh,
really
we're
bad.
getting some. We're getting some predictions.
Are we getting predictions?
Oh, wait.
I think
Dirk Diggler? Really?
Dirk Diggler?
and Cosby.
And
Oh,
Crosby?
Bill Cosby? Is he going to prison or not?
No, he's not.
Okay, then I would say maybe if he was going to prison, no prison.
He'd probably be up there. If he was
Odds
going to
are
prison.
a little bit.
Odds are a little better with
For him.
without prison.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, for the sake of all America, I'm
Don't
gonna
you dare
go
say
ahead.
Betty White.
I'm gonna not Betty.
Don't you dare
White.
say it.
I love Betty White.
She's immortal.
Actually, didn't Betty White die already?
No.
Yeah, she passed away.
Yeah, she passed away
a year ago, David.
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, you're so behind on this stuff.
What?
Man. You obviously don't watch enough TV. I'm gonna go with, and I'm doing this for America. I'm gonna go with Miley Cyrus
Oh my God.
because we could all do without Miley Cyrus.
You guys are all hoping for some overdoses here, and after hearing the news about Gene Wilder, I knew a third was coming. I felt a disturbance in the force, and I'm gonna predict Harrison Ford.
No.
Harrison Ford?
No.
We can't go with Harrison Ford.
I felt a disturbance in the
Oh
force.
no, BB, you're a numbers guy. What are the odds on these 3 bets that we have going on?
All right. Well, I'm going to say Johnny Manziel is like a 20-1.
20-1.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus, she's been cleaning up her act lately, so and I'm gonna go like 100-1 on that one. She's on The Voice and everything now. She's trying to make a turnaround.
Just trying to make a comeback.
And then on what was yours, David? Harrison Ford. I don't even want to give odds on that one.
That is just a horrible name to throw out on this.
Yeah, that's blasphemous
that would
to talk
be a
about
bad
that. Come
day
on
for
now.
us.
It's gonna be a dark day for me.
He can't die in the movies and in real life.
I know.
Oh, you just ruined Star Wars for everybody who hasn't watched yet.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
If you haven't seen it and it's been a year since it came out, then you're just behind the times already.
Yeah, no joke. Seriously, who hasn't watched?
You
Star
can't get
Wars
mad
by
if somebody
now?
spoils something that came out a year ago.
Exactly. Hey, We got to talk about some of the events that are happening today because we're running out of time. We literally have 1.5 minutes left before the show is over. I'm sorry to cut it off so soon, guys. What do we have going on?
But if you have your celebrity death predictions, keep putting them down in the comments.
We'll continue to take
I'll
predictions
keep giving you odds on your predictions.
Curtis says David is fired for your comment on Harrison Ford.
All right, well, let's talk about some events, guys. Capital Concepts is tonight, 5:30 to 8:30 at LaGrange. A couple of us will be there, so I hope to see you there as well. And then coming up this month, Jet Lending, third Wednesday of every month. Yep. I heard that their event at the Redneck Country Club went really well. It's a great space, and so they're doing that again.
You mean September?
Yes, sorry. Did I say August?
You said this month.
Yeah.
But we are
we're
in
practically in September. Only a day away.
Yeah.
That's scary to me. That means we're only like a month away from like beginning like Christmas preparations and all that.
Oh, I mean, I saw the other day, I think it was at Kohl's, they were putting up a Christmas tree already. I was like, oh my goodness.
I already have my Halloween costume.
I'm already getting bookings on the Airbnb for New Year's parties and Christmas parties. How cool is that, man? I didn't get a chance to talk about that too much today, but it's been phenomenal. What other events do we have?
So Jet Lending near the end of the month, and then a week after that, we actually have our event. It's going to be the VA class. The VA, I'm calling it the VA Virtual Assistant Complete course with Richard Smith. We're going to be teaching you how to vet, hire, and effectively use a virtual assistant. Yep. That's going to be hosted at the Allied Home Warranties offices. And let me actually give you guys a link to RSVP. I have that live now. It's going to be vaclass.eventbrite.com.
And we'll post that in the comments below. Yeah. So if you guys want to join us for that class, you can start registering.
That's going to be a really good one.
If you don't make this class,
then don't ever ask me again about a VA.
Yeah, don't ever ask me again. And you know, you can sit there and stay behind on times and don't automate your system. But if you come out, you're going to learn all you need to learn about really taking your business to the next level.
And guys, it's free.
It's a free class.
It's a free class.
Come on.
If it's free, I'll take 3.
There you go. That's the way it should be. Anyway, guys, thank you again for joining us today here at Realty Ruckus. Don't forget that we're here again on Friday from 10 to 11. Unfortunately, I won't be here. I'll actually be traveling again.
I don't know how that's going to work.
You
might have to do the show by himself.
Me by myself.
Wait, are you not going to be here?
I'm going to be in Dallas for those games.
Okay, that's going to be an interesting show.
It'll be episode 1 of American Watchdog.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you soon. Thank you again.
This has been the Realty Ruckus. Make sure and join us every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes. Find us on YouTube and Facebook for replays of previous episodes. And as always, keep elevating yourself and keep up your ruckus. Thanks for listening. Realty Ruckus has been brought to you by Smart Pig Media Productions.